watching Yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network. New York earned a hard-fought victory in Chicago yesterday afternoon against James Wade's Sky. Tonight, the Eastern Conference Player of the Week, Sabrina Ionescu, brings her team back home to Brooklyn, with Natasha Howard making her home debut against the reigning WNBA scoring champ Arike Ogunbowale and the #1 overall pick from 2021, Charlie Collier and the Dallas Wings, in what should be an offensive explosion between the two youngest teams in the WNBA, as the Yes Network proudly presents New York Liberty basketball. Tonight, the Seafoam rolls on home to face Vicki Johnson's Dallas Wings. Alongside Julianne Vianney-Brain, I am Chris Sheeran, and Jules, the Liberty got a huge win in Chicago over a tough Sky team yesterday.
They looked incredible. I mean, they shot the lights out. 6 players ended up in double figures for the New York Liberty. If they can continue this efficient offense and then clean up the turnover department a little bit, boy, this team is going to get better and better as the season progresses.
Where it starts and where it ends is with their lead guard, number 20, Sabrina Ionescu. It sounds like we're a broken record, but we're really not. If you've been watching this team so far this season, Jules, she is where it begins and ends for this team.
Is it any surprise? We're talking a lot about Sabrina. I mean, she had 5 threes yesterday. I mean, she has been just everything that we wanted her to be, living up to the hype, stepping up when this team needs her most, the definition of a leader and a star player. She was held in check on Friday by the Mystics, but I love how she responded with a terrific performance on Sunday in Chicago, and she did it in so many different ways.
3 double-doubles this season. You know she had the triple-double the last time she was in Barclays Center. There are her numbers through the first 5 games of the season that have earned her the Eastern Conference Player of the Week. Sabrina Ionescu is unbelievable, and now we're going to get to see here at Barclays Center for the first time what Walt Hopkins has been waiting to see all season, the pick-and-roll game with Sab and Natasha Howard.
She's a stud, folks. You're going to love watching her play, and we got a peek at her yesterday, and they're so thrilled to get her back from overseas. She instantly gives this team an edge on both sides of the basketball. She's got the length, the strength, and everything they need on the interior. She meshed well, considering just coming in with 1 game.
No practices, comes in and has that kind of game against the Chicago Sky, helps the Liberty to a victory. And take a look at the Liberty ranks in the WNBA this season. Last year, they were near the bottom of the league in points per game. Now they are in the upper quarter of the league, 4th in field goal percentage, 1st in 3-point percentage. And we talk night in and night out with these games, Jules, about how many assists they have to made field goals as well. They have been unbelievable, and they're going to have to continue that tonight against a very tough Dallas Wings team led by a tremendous lead guard of their own, Arike Ogunbowale.
I think you're going to see a lot of offense potentially tonight, because between both these teams, there is a lot of firepower. And Arike led the W in scoring last year in points per game, and she is just continuing off of a tremendous season. She is one of the purest scorers in the league, and it is impossible, folks, to stop her. The Liberty will just hope to make it difficult for her tonight. And what I like most about Arike is her ability and her desire to take big shots in those clutch moments. She's coming off a big one against the Storm, too, one of the best teams in the league.
They did lose that game, but only by 3 points. This season, the Wings have just played 2 contests. They're 1-1. They drafted Charlie Collier, of course, and Awak Kawia, the top 2 picks in the 2021 draft. In those first 2 games, they're averaging 95.5 points. Alicia Gray is training for the Olympics right now. She is not here, nor Sabally and Kawia. They are not with the team as well. But Vicki Johnson, former Liberty great, hired as their head coach on December 9th, 2020. We've got another great one on deck here for you on the Yes Network. The 3rd home game for the Liberty this season. What do the Liberty and Sabrina Ionescu have in store for their fans tonight? A game winner, a triple-double. What's next? Find out on Yes. We are back at Barclays Center as your New York Liberty are being announced. The starting lineups getting set for tonight as they take on Vicki Johnson, who spent the first 9 years of her WNBA career with the New York Liberty. She is now the head coach of the Dallas Wings, and she has her team in the BK tonight to take on the 4-1 New York Liberty. Marina Mabry from Belmar, New Jersey. She went to Manasquan High School. She's in there tonight at forward along with Kayla Thornton, Isabel Harrison, Arike Ogunbowale, and Ty Harris. Of course, Ogunbowale and Mabry both played for Notre Dame. For the Liberty, it's Benijah Laney, Michaela Onyenwede, Natasha Howard, Sammy Whitcomb, and Sabrina Ionescu. There is the aforementioned Vicki Johnson, the all-world player for this New York Liberty franchise. First season with the Dallas Wings. Nice to see Vicki once again leading a team. She was the head coach of the San Antonio Stars before they became the Las Vegas Aces, of course. And there is Walt Hopkins, who has his squad out to a 4-1 start here as they start their first season at Barclays Center after a 2-20 season down at the bubble. But this is not your bubble New York Liberty team, and that is for sure. They have gotten out to a tremendous start this year. The only blemish on their record is an away game against the Washington Mystics, where Tina Charles, another former Liberty player, went absolutely bonkers on her former team, and the Mystics shot the lights out down in D.C. As we take a look at Natasha Howard and the rest of the Liberty coming out. Look at Kayla Thornton as well, as we're getting ready for the opening tip, as the players all shake hands before this one is about to get underway. Chris Sheeran, Julianne Vianney-Brain, and our entire Yes Network crew. We're so glad you're spending your Monday night with us here on the Yes Network as we are ready for basketball here in Brooklyn, and we're off. And the tip is controlled by Michaela Onyenwede. Officials Tim Green, Robert Hussey, and Carlina Tobin. They will be in charge of keeping this game clean tonight. And right on cue, Jules, a turnover for the New York Liberty. They are 11th in the league, and the Wings are dead last in the league in turnovers, as Izzy Harrison gets it to go on the lay-in there.
And that's a huge key for New York, and Walt Hopkins, and what he said in pregame is cleaning up the turnover department, as we see Benijah Laney, of course, getting to the rim early. This is a New York team that is not struggling to score, folks, this year.
They're not struggling to score, and they're showing a lot of physicality. We saw that in Chicago yesterday. The Liberty are playing a back-to-back. Of course, Dallas lost to the Seattle Storm on Saturday. This is the Liberty 6th game. Oh, what a feed by Ionescu to Howard. And New York with a 4-2 lead. But New York has played, this is their 6th game. This is only the 3rd game for the Dallas Wings.
I'll tell you what, if that duo can really build chemistry, I mean, this is just game 2 between Sabrina Ionescu and, of course, Natasha Howard. This is a simple pick-and-roll game, and this is something to keep an eye on throughout the game, because this is what they need to do. And this is modern basketball, very simple, and poor rotation from Dallas. But expect Ionescu to be able to see the floor well enough to get Howard the basketball.
Curtis Blow approves. He liked the pick-and-roll. He liked to give and go.
The old school basketball.
See, there you go.
How it is.
Old school. And that's school with a K. S-K-O-O-L.
Right. It's how we do. How we like it.
Howard in her 2nd game since coming back from overseas. She turns it over. Ty Harris getting the start tonight. Takes it coast to coast. Lays it up and in. We're tied at 4.
This Dallas team is so young, but so energetic and competitive. They want to run the floor, and this is good defense leading to offense.
Nice defense there by Howard getting back, and Whitcomb is able to knock it over to Sabrina Ionescu to start things back up for the Liberty. The walking bucket, Benijah Laney, comes up short there. She's had 20 points in 4 of the 5 games the Liberty have played. And in the other one, opening night, she dropped a 30 spot on the Indiana Fever.
Nobody's been hotter than Benijah Laney in the league this year. I mean, the last 2 seasons, just her story in general, getting cut and then coming back and getting most improved player. We've talked about it before, but we cannot reiterate that enough.
Just think about that. She gets cut by the Fever down in the bubble, becomes the most improved player, and look at what she's doing for the Liberty this season. A nice find by Laney in the corner with Onyen Wade, and she drains the 3. Ogunbowale with a long one. That doesn't go. Rebound fought for. Izzy Harrison kicks it back out. 12 to shoot as Mabry with the quick trigger, and she nails it. Mabry will not hesitate, and her range is deep, Julie.
She's their best shooter by far from distance, and certainly did it last year, 42% from there, and she's continued it.
She's shooting 50% now from downtown, 10 of 20 for the season. The New Jersey product out of Manasquan High School tries again. This time it's short. Offensive rebound to Harris. And they reset with Ogunbowale, 9 to shoot. Dribbles to her left, trying to break down Howard, and oh, what a pretty shot by Ogunbowale, and Walt Hopkins wants to talk it over with 6:28 left to go in the first quarter. Walt not happy, obviously, with what happened on that play. We'll be back with more first quarter action next. Barclays Center is Benijah Laney running the show for the New York Liberty. A trail 9-7 here with 6:18 left to play in the first. Sabrina thought about the 3, pulls it back down, gives it to Laney for 3, no good. And the rebound to Izzy Harrison. And Harrison and Kayla Thornton both doubled against the Seattle Storm. Another tremendous front line for this Liberty team that they'll have to face. They've been tested so far early and often, Jules, on the front line.
They sure have. I mean, there's been teams coming at them, tossing every big to and fro inside, and it hasn't been easy because sometimes they are outsized inside, but New York's been able to handle it. And they've got a lot of versatility. That's the big deal for New York. A lot of players that are able to kind of slip into the post and pop out on the perimeter.
So the Dallas Wings dead last, averaging 22 turnovers per game. The Liberty close to 18.5, and we're seeing that early on here. Sammy Whitcomb drills the 3 to seesaw the Liberty back in front.
She has certainly added such a spark to this team. She's so efficient. She gets those shots. I'm always thinking she's going to make it.
How far has Marina Mabry come since being drafted in 2019?
A long time. I covered Marina Mabry at Manasquan High School back in the day, and boy, I knew she was a good player then, but she has only brought that die-hard nature, that merciless competitiveness to the next level. I mean, she was terrific in college too, but she's translated nicely.
She was one of those 5 starters for the 2019 Fighting Irish who were drafted in that 2019 WNBA draft.
And she had to do a lot last year, Chris, because of just the shortened season on players that weren't there, and she had to really contribute. So she stepped up big time when they needed her to.
Wasn't getting a lot of playing time with Derek Fisher with the LA Sparks. Came over here to Dallas, and she's really took advantage of her time here with the Wings. Howard makes 1 of 2, and Michaela Onyenwede is there for the offensive rebound. Whitcomb, though, throws it away, and the Liberty luck out. 6 seconds to shoot here. 5 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Good defense there by the Wings, and Liberty will have another shot here on the offensive end. Ionescu from deep, tries the banker, doesn't go, gets her own rebound. If you're watching at home and you're a young player, follow your shot.
Yeah.
Boys and girls.
Textbook.
Benijah Laney with a nice curl move and lays it in.
That's why, you get the offensive rebound. That second chance opportunity comes your way.
Kayla Thornton working on the rookie from UCLA, and she backs her in and lays it in.
There's so many weapons on Dallas. I mean, you have to be able to stop and defend Dallas somewhat, because offensively, they're hard to keep up with.
Points for days. They're among the tops in pace in this league, scoring 95.5 points per game.
And a team that can hang with them, the New York Liberty. And Benijah Laney does such a nice job here posting up Harris. I mean, this is good recognition. Just a simple post entry pass, one-on-one down low in the paint. Laney has been tremendous.
Both of these teams from last year to this year, both wanted to work on defense. Vicki Johnson has worked on defense sometimes for 90 minutes in practice to make them better, as Thornton puts that in. And we both know that Walt Hopkins has stressed defense, not only last year in the bubble, but he wanted that to come to fruition this year in Brooklyn.
Maintaining that identity is what creates your offense, so it's important.
Whitcomb fires over to Onyenwere. She tries to get it inside to Howard. A little bit of a forced pass there, and it's picked off by Harrison. Harris for three. No good, rims in and out. Rebound to Whitcomb. 3.5 minutes to go here in the first. Wings with a 2-point lead. Whitcomb tried glass, no good, and Howard couldn't pull down the board. Mabry stops, pops, and drops the three. Jersey represented here in Brooklyn.
And this is where Dallas can be really detrimental to their opponents. You miss shots, you better be ready to rebound the long ball, because Dallas is going to run.
Nice look there by Ionescu to Howard, and she does the rest. What a pretty play there by Ionescu, and Howard with the finish.
They are playing extremely well together. I mean, I know Kylie Shook was also in the post to start the season, and the two of them looked good, and Howard has just stepped right in and looked just as good with Ionescu. But for Dallas, Marina Mabry, who is just tremendous in transition. This is the best time to make a three when the defense is scrambling. You better be there on the catch for her. But on the other end, the simple pick and roll, the repick actually, Howard just does a great job here and draws the double team, and that's what gets her so open. Sabrina Ionescu is such a threat that when she has the ball in her hands, players they just flock to her, and you're playing in a pick and roll situation with her, and you better be moving without the basketball, because she's gonna find you. You're gonna get open looks. She has been that point guard that they've been missing, Chris, the past couple of seasons, and you can see why they're playing so well right now, and they're moving, passing, and in rhythm.
Liberty with 6 field goals and 6 assists, so something we trumpeted in the open coming to fruition here so far over the first near 8 minutes of this game. There's Charlie Collier, our first look at her, the first overall pick in the 2021 WNBA draft. Her first touch, her first bucket.
And she's a real dynamic player and going to be tremendous for this Dallas team.
Kylie Shook, Beck Allen, and Jazz Jones in. Beck Allen with a nice take, but she couldn't finish. So Walt Hopkins with his first overhaul of the lineup tonight. And a nice pickoff there by Jazz Jones as she fills in for Sabrina as the lead guard. Gets a nice look over there to Kylie Shook. Couldn't get a handle, and she backs it back out. Inside to Laney, and she is fouled by Ty Harris.
Laney's really trying to find a rhythm down low on Harris, posting her up, and New York's taking advantage of it. They're getting her the basketball.
Chelsea Dungy also in the game, rookie out of Arkansas. She did not play against the Storm, did play against the Sparks in the 94-71 victory for the Wings. Had 3 points in that one on a three-pointer, her only shot attempt in that game. Kylie Shook does not get the friendly roll here at Barclays Center, and Mabry breaks out for Dallas.
Mabry, who's so patient with the ball, keeps her dribble alive. She's got a lot of moves in her repertoire.
Think about that starting five as Laney connects on the two-pointer there. Just inside the three-point line to cut the lead to 5. But think about that starting five that Mabry and Agumbawale came out of Notre Dame with, Julie. It's just unbelievable. Jackie Young, Jess Shepard.
All players that have been terrific at the next level.
Brianna Turner, they all got drafted. They all made teams. Credit to Muffet McGraw, their head coach.
Who's now retired.
Yeah, good for her.
Still watches ball.
She put together one heck of a ball club. Offensive foul here on the Liberty as they trail by 5 under a minute to play here in the first quarter. As Dee Richards checks in for Sammy Whitcomb. Richards has been such a story on the defensive end for Walt Hopkins. Played sparingly in that first game against the Fever, but she has earned more minutes as the season has gone along.
I think what's really important for Walt and this Liberty team is that they go a little deeper than they have the last couple of years. He's got people he's comfortable with just putting in and saving some legs. Remember, double header here. Well, we've got game yesterday, now game today for New York.
As John Sterling says, a back-to-back and a belly-to-belly.
That's right. It's not exactly a doubleheader, but a back-to-back. That's the right word.
It's kind of like a doubleheader because they still have to fly back from Chicago, get back here, and play the very next night. Collier working on Kylie Shook, rookie against sophomore. Sophomore wins that battle, and the ball stays with the Wings. 14 to shoot. So a 5.9 second differential, shot clock to game clock, as Dallas sets up their inbounds play. Thornton, no good on the jumper. Now New York could hold for one as Laney will control. 10 seconds. Laney inside the three-point line, no good. Shook right there for the board, goes up strong, no good. Can't get it to fall, and that is the way the first quarter will end. The Dallas Wings with a 22-17 lead over the New York Liberty. We're back with the second quarter right after this. Tuesday night on Yes, following his epic no-hitter last week, Corey Kluber takes the mound in the Bronx as the Yankees battle Vlad Guerrero Jr. and the Toronto Blue Jays. Coverage starts at 6:30 right here on Yes and streaming on the Yes app. It's never hard to find a Yankee ad, especially when you're in New York.
That's right.
But our camera crew always seems to find it, whether they're on the road, whether they're at home, they always find that Yankee toque.
That's right. And it's good to see them supporting.
I went Canadian on everybody. I apologize.
Wow, that's a deep one.
Agumbawale comes up strong there. And the board to Laney as the Liberty look to cut into this lead. Laney directing traffic. Gets it to Beck Allen for a deep three. Allen no good. Turnovers, Jules, we knew were a problem heading into this one. Both of these teams at the bottom of the league. Liberty came in 18.4 per game. The Wings 22 per game, 11th and 12th respectively.
Listen, if you're playing fast, you're going to turn it over, and I don't mind that. You're going to play an up-tempo style, but it's the unforced errors. It's things that can create for the opponent. That can be a problem, and that's been an issue at times when New York has either lost in the one game or gone down.
Great job there by Dee Richards taking the offensive foul. And she gets her squad the ball back. Can't tell you how good it is to be back at an arena.
Yeah.
Calling
good vibe in here, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The music blaring, it's fantastic. As Allen comes up strong there from the corner.
And there's talk about an increased capacity potentially after the Olympics for the women in the WNBA, so that would be really cool too.
That's what Jazz Jones brings to your squad, and her head coach, Walt Hopkins, ran over and smacked her 5. He loves the hustle. He loves the active hands.
She's the energy player, and she's got to focus on that because her defense is what sparks the team on the other end. Oftentimes, all of last season, that was where she got it done.
That's going to be foul number 2 on Laney. You know, we saw Jones in the bubble last year really be an offensive threat for this team, but that's because how short-handed the Liberty were. This season, not so much on the offensive side, but the defensive side. What Walt Hopkins envisioned for her, Jules, is what we're seeing this year.
Yep, coming in, spelling minutes, adding a spark and a fire, and pushing it up in transition.
Ty Harris, the 7th overall pick from 2020, goes over Kylie Shook there. Lead is now 7 as Beck Allen finds Richards. Outside for 3. She takes, and she makes. Didi, her first 3 of the season, knocks it down. Liberty trail 4.
And you know, this is what I love about Walt Hopkins' style, the offense. He always has shooters on the floor. When you always have shooters on the floor, you can spread it out, do a lot of penetration and pitch.
Good defense there. Richards and Beck Allen with their length. That's a travel. Didi Richards lost the ball, tried to get it again, so it's a walk there on her.
A nice skip pass, and this is when New York's at their finest. A lot of ball movement, and you see it leads to a Didi Richards 3, and she was ready to shoot. Terrific job with the penetration and pitch. And hey, listen, Arike Ogunbowale, she did not have her hand up at all. She did not respect Didi Richards when she caught it. She made her pay.
And we got to give Dustin Gray a lot of credit, the assistant coach for the Liberty under Walt Hopkins. He's been breaking down Didi Richards' shot and putting it back up. And as we mentioned, the first career 3-pointer. She had 1 career attempt in college and missed it, and she made this one. So credit to Dustin Gray and his work with Didi Richards.
Yeah, it's a project for sure, the shot in terms of having to break it, which we've talked about. And it's getting better.
Jazz Jones fouled there by Ogunbowale. It's her first foul.
It looks like she got hit in the face here, yep.
Some more good news for Walt Hopkins. Nate Odom. She was doubtful the past couple of games with an Achilles injury, but she was listed as questionable for tonight, so we might get our first look at Nate Odom, another one of the tremendous rookies that Walt Hopkins had down in the bubble last season. Is Shook, another one of those rookies from last year in her sophomore campaign, puts that in. The lead is now 2. Liberty on a 5-zip run here to cut the lead to 2. Playing tremendous defense as Izzy Harrison working on Beck Allen. Can't get it to fall. Collier there for the offensive board, and that's been another issue for the Liberty as well.
Yeah, rebounding is a key, and it's an area they've got to just continue to keep their focus on because it's not their best attribute.
Liberty shooting 45%, 9 for 20 to start this game. 3 of 6 from downtown. The Wings 11 of 24, that's 46%. 2 of 7 from downtown, and both of their makes are from the Jersey girl, Marina Mabry.
And Dallas, of course, missing some key players too to overseas and just not available to start the season. We've got Awak Kawia, who you mentioned in the open, and Satu Sabali, who's overseas, and Alicia Gray, who we love as a player. She's tough. She had to leave the team to train with USA Basketball's 3-on-3 team for the Olympic qualifier. A little short-handed here from Dallas.
And Vicki Johnson challenged Mabry because Mabry came off the bench in that first game. Gray was the starter, and Johnson challenged Mabry. She's going to have to do more as we get a foul here before the shot on Sabrina Ionescu. She can't believe it. She thought it was on Dallas, but it's actually being called on her.
You see here Ionescu trying to squeeze through the back of the screen. I didn't really like that call either. She was trying to get below the screen. I actually almost think, if anything, it's a no call if you're not sure what to call there.
But Johnson, as I was saying, challenged Mabry when Gray left for the Olympic 3-on-3 training, and Johnson said she went over and beyond that against the Storm. And she is continuing that here tonight at Barclays Center.
And Mabry's never seen a shot she doesn't like. I mean, she's a great shooter. She's an offensive
But you were a shooter
juggernaut.
too. You were a shooter
But you need to be, yes, because you need to be instilled with that confidence from your coach to know, okay, I have the green light. And that's all she needed.
That's got to give you such more of an air of confidence.
Big time.
Ogunbowale led the NBA just under 23 points per game.
Pretty impressive for Ogunbowale, just 2 years of experience in the W. To be able to average 23 points a game in just her second season.
Yeah, and she could have won Rookie of the Year as well. But Nafisa Collier had just as an amazing season as Ogunbowale for the Minnesota Lynx back in 2019. Collier, of course, took the Rookie of the Year award, and Ogunbowale came in second in the voting. A deep three. Yo! Nescu from downtown.
She looks smooth from out there.
Ogunbowale tries to answer, no good. And Ionescu with the board. She gets it quickly up to Whitcomb. Oh, she had Howard.
Trying to thread that needle.
Great defense by Mabry, who pokes it away. Harris thought about the three. Now she gets it inside. Kayla Thornton back out to Harris. Great ball movement to Mabry, and she connects.
Yeah, that was good ball movement. Very, very good, because New York was just lagging ever so slightly behind in the rotation defensively. They had the right rotation, just a tad late. And this is a mismatch. Nice job by Laney.
Laney backs down Mabry and lays it up and in.
New York recognizing the mismatch. Laney is creating a problem for Dallas in the paint.
Laney has 8 points, 4 of 7 from the field. She leads the Liberty, and Mabry has 13. She leads all scorers. She grabs that board as well. That time, a forced pass by Harris, trying to find Thornton.
And Sabrina Ionescu certainly loves to play off the ball, because little penetration and pitch leaves her wide open, and she finishes. They're down just 3.
Kim Hampton is in the building tonight. 3 seasons with the Liberty Center from 97 to 99. So
a legend.
Yes, always nice to see the alums back in the house.
And she's always come to a lot of games over the years.
Liberty trailing by 3 here. Coming up on the 4-minute mark of the second quarter, and Laney draws the foul. She'll head to the line. You know, we talk about Sabrina Ionescu all the time in our opens throughout the game, but Benijah Laney has been otherworldly, Jules, so far this season.
She really has been. And, you know, when Walt Hopkins is asked about her, he really just says she hasn't been hot. She's just been Benijah. And I love that response, because that just goes to show that she is consistent now, and everybody expects this kind of play from her. And she is doing it day in and day out.
And that's the mantra of Walt Hopkins, and it's trickled down to the rest of his team. It's a game at a time, a day at a time, and just improve as the games go along. And we're seeing that in living color.
They have a toughness factor that I've seen lacking in years past. This team's really got that toughness that I like.
Good idea there by Howard, but even better defense there by Ogunbowale. Gets it up to Izzy Harrison. She lays it up and in.
That is just so quick. I mean, you just blink, and Dallas is up the floor. Enrique in the open court. Watch out.
This Dallas Wings team could score in bunches, but so can the New York Liberty. We could be in for a very offensive game here tonight at Barclays Center as Ionescu finds Howard, but tried to dribble, lost control. Harrison breaks out again and lays it in, and the lead is back up to 5.
She's been a problem in transition. Izzy Harrison, she's just taking off. She's such a versatile player.
9-0 in fast break points for the Wings as Dee Dee Richards tried to tap that back, but to no avail as the Wings control once again as Mabry sets things up. Behind the back, it's away from Ionescu, and she hits the 3.
And she thought she got fouled with it.
That's East Coast against West Coast right there. And they have their largest lead. It's 8, 37-29. Howard trying to answer, and she'll head to the free throw line.
Enrique Agumbawale in the open floor. You gotta watch out. She's gonna find you. The transition buckets mounting for Dallas, and Marina Mabry loves the 3-ball, and she drills another one to extend this lead.
37-29, Wings over the Liberty. 2:40 left in the second. It's trivia time, Jules.
It's the music.
Get your thinking cap on. Natasha Howard is one of 2 players to win a WNBA Defensive Player of the Year award and play for the Liberty. Who is the other?
That's a good one, Sam. I think Sam Hickey thought of that one. Josh Isaac.
We were told it was an unabated layup, a clear path layup. Howard hits on her first. And hits her second, so she has 7 points. Howard in her first game, 22 minutes, 5 of 10 from the floor, 12 points, 7 rebounds against the Sky in that win for New York yesterday. Kayla Thornton displaced Dee Dee Richards. No foul was called there, but Thornton will go to the free throw line after she was fouled on her shot, and Walt Hopkins can't believe it.
You see here, Dee Dee Richards falls off that cut to the basket, but thought it might have been a push-off. Ends up going to Dallas here.
Natasha Howard's second foul. A little forearm shiver there by Thornton on Richards.
Got away with one there.
And she misses the free throw, so the basketball gods tell her, no, you may not have the freebie. Howard at the elbow being guarded tenaciously by Christina Nigwe. And a foul called on her. Her first foul, team's 4th foul. Shot clock reset to 14. Liberty back in business here on the offensive end. Laney. Her pass tipped there. Great defense by Inigwe. And then Dee Dee Richards with the hustle wrestles the ball away. And we are going to get a jump ball. What hustle by Dee Dee Richards. My goodness.
And this is why she's going to get minutes and continue to, because she is a hustle player. Great job just going after it and getting a piece of it, not letting it go. Hey, that's my basketball. Remember, this is a player who is known for her defense. That's what she garnered her popularity for in college. She's elite on that end of the floor. And she was not 100% healthy entering this season and still isn't. So they're working on her game, but she is so dynamic.
Don't forget, she suffered that collision during practice at Baylor that left her temporarily paralyzed. Just 38 days later, Richards returned to the floor where she was able to lead the Bears to a Final Four finish, and Howard hits the 3. Liberty trailed by 5, but think about that. Earlier this season, she was partially paralyzed, and she's here in the W now, doing what she's doing.
It really is a tremendous story. She's got the ability to be a Draymond Green type of player, but she's full throttle.
Ball goes off of Inigwe, and it'll be Liberty ball. Does she remind you of Teresa Weatherspoon by any chance?
Maybe a toughness factor there. Teaspoon was always extremely tenacious. She had an electric personality, kind of similar to Richards.
There's a weak side board out to Whitcomb, and she connects. Sammy Whitcomb.
That started with a Richards hustle play.
Walt Hopkins has praised Dee Richards after every game. Even the first game against the Fever when she got out there and provided a spark for the team on defense. And there's a great play by Ionescu tracking down. Active hands. Back to Whitcomb on the wing. No good. But hustle play by Howard gets it back out to Laney. Drives into the lane. Gets it to fall.
And that's the way to respond. I mean, we went to a commercial break, and Dallas was ahead, and all of a sudden you look up, and Laney gets to the lane, and right before that, Sammy Whitcomb drills the three after Richards gets the rebound. I mean, this is the way to come right back before halftime and to finish strong with that momentum.
Howard with the board there. 10 to shoot here for the Liberty with 24 seconds to play.
And note this group of five. They're playing pretty well together here.
Richards tries the other corner. Doesn't hit that one, but another hustle play by Ionescu. The Liberty omnipresent on the floor, setting themselves up for the last shot now. They've scored the last 8 points in this ball game. 5 seconds to play. High pick and roll. That's not there. Whitcomb at the buzzer, no good. But the Liberty, 0.4 on the clock. 0.4 on the clock. I thought the shot clock was off. That's my mistake.
I did too. I thought it did as well. I did not think she got that shot off on time.
And that is how the first quarter will end. The Liberty scored the last 8 points of the first half, and they tie this game at 39. Coming up, get a sneak peek at Liberty CEO Kia Clark on Joy to the World on the YES Network. Ian Joy interviews her, and we'll break down the top players from the first half with Jules. It's all coming up next on the Halftime Show right here on YES. We're back here at Barclays Center with first half highlights, and Sabrina Ionescu and Natasha Howard getting the pick and roll going early here, Jules.
Yeah, this is really important to the success of New York, just being able to do the two-man game and then the ball movement leading to a Sammy Whitcomb three. That is when this team is at their best. But how about the play of Dallas, too? I mean, this is a team that in transition, Chris, they're able to find their shooters in Marina Mabry, but we've had a back-and-forth affair here today. And how about a little Dee from three?
Dee from three. We mentioned that she took one attempt in college and missed it. That's her first three ever. That's not Sabrina's first three, though.
Right. Those two like to shoot them. At least Sabrina, we know, likes to shoot them. But this ball movement leading to another Mabry Trey, who has been there all day, just parking herself from distance. And Laney with a whale of a first half and just a crazy start to her WNBA season.
8 points away from her signature 20 points. 4 games, I should say, that she scored 20 points. She had 30 in the opener against the Fever here at Barclays Center. She leads the way for the Liberty with 12. Natasha Howard with 10. And as Jules mentioned, Mabry above and beyond the rest of her teammates. She has 16 in this first half. Are we ready for trivia, Jules?
Yeah, I think I know the answer.
I do too. I do too. Now, we were told it was uncontested layup, a clear path layup, and I should have trusted Josh Isaac, our producer, and
we usually know the answer.
Yeah,
50% of the time.
Natasha Howard is one of 2 players to win a WNBA Defensive Player of the Year award and play for the Liberty. Who's the other? It's Teaspoon.
It's Teaspoon.
We say it every time. And, you know...
Well, we just got finished talking about her as a defender and Dee Richards being a defender, and we were even saying it.
Josh tried his best.
He didn't tell me.
No, he didn't tell me either. He was trying his best, though, to tell us that it was so easy. And he's right. This was like a layup line layup.
Teaspoon, always known for her grittiness, her fire.
And you know what? Something else has to be said about this Liberty organization. Having Teresa Weatherspoon's voice be the first voice you hear before every game here. Now,
the 25th anniversary,
yeah,
too, it's big.
What does this team have to do? Jules, we talked about the turnovers, but in this second half, what does the Liberty have to do to get a win here?
I think that they've got to continue to stick to their identity, and a lot of players need to get involved. When they won the other day, they had 6 players score in double figures. I'm not worried about the Liberty's offensive prowess. They have a lot of firepower. They've got to be able to get some stops, though, for Dallas, against Dallas, and not turn the ball over. You mentioned it at a break. Too many turnovers that led to second chance points, fast break points, and that can be a problem. So no live ball turnovers, or at least limit those. But I like what this team does. I mean, I think that when they play to their identity, and they're moving the ball well, getting good looks, they're okay on that offensive end.
The Liberty have led by as many as 3. They haven't led since it was 13-11. The Wings enjoyed an 8-point advantage, and the Liberty erased that right before the first half came to an end. They're on an 8-0 run, and they will be on the defensive side of the ball to start the third quarter here, so they will need a stop to keep this run going to bridge it from the second to third quarter. We've been tied 6 times. We've had 6 lead changes. And we expected just this from these 2 squads, the 2 youngest squads in the W, as 2 Wings go down. Enrique Agumbawale and Caleb Thornton collided. It's a 5-on-3 power play, and Sammy Whitcomb cannot convert. Weak side rebound to Natasha Howard, and the Liberty could reset.
This Dallas team is also a team that won't go away because of their offensive ability.
Nice strip there by Ty Harris. Active hands. Back-to-back turnovers on the opening possessions for both squads. We'll see who breaks the ice here to start the second half. Mabry, does she pick up where she left off? No. Rebound to Ionescu. Laney, nice find inside to Howard. Gathers and can't get it to fall, but she will head to the line. Izzy Harrison called for the foul.
Howard has had some fumble fingers this game a little bit.
I like that.
A couple of times
fumble fingers.
I think she should have caught the basketball when she has it, but no, I think still trying to get into the rhythm here. A great pass into her as she streaked through the middle there.
I never heard, I heard butterfingers.
Fumble fingers? Huh?
I never heard of fumble fingers.
We would say that as players. Maybe it's no longer used.
No, I like that. That has to go into my vocabulary, and I have to use that in my basketball vernacular from now on. Even in football.
Fumbles.
In every sport, kind of works.
It sure does.
Liberty with their first lead, as I mentioned, since it was 13-11, thanks to Howard's first free throw. And she connects on her second. So Howard has 12 points, matching Benijah Laney for the team lead.
Howard's done a good job getting to the free throw line. She's 5 of 6 from there. She's been the one player who has been pretty consistent getting there.
Good D as Onyenwere and Sabrina Ionescu collide and help out on Charlie Collier there on the low block. And we'll get a jump ball between Ionescu and Collier. As Van Halen's jump appropriately plays. And Collier wins the tip. 10 to shoot.
More size on her end.
Yeah, a little bit. Just a little bit. 4 to shoot. Ball worked around to Harris. Now to Mabry. She's going to have to pull it at the shot clock buzzer, and no good. A shot clock violation. It'll be Liberty ball. So a good defensive set there all around. Getting the jump ball. And then also holding the Wings to a poor shot attempt at the end of the shot clock. A Liberty with just under 36.5 points allowed in the second half this season. That's third in the WNBA. Nice move inside by Onyenwere, the rookie. They allowed 31 points to Chicago in the first quarter yesterday, Jules, and 33 points total in the second half. That defense really clamps down for Walt Hopkins, and that's the third foul on Laney.
And this is a great job by Michaela Onyenwere, just going near the rim. This is straight, hey, I'm going to the rim, using my body and being strong and physical. I like the one-on-one ability of the New York Liberty. They've got a lot of breakdown players.
And we have not seen...
Nice, good look.
Nice look from Harris to Collier. We have not seen that tentativeness from Onyenwere in her rookie season. She has started every single game, Jules, and she's playing like a seasoned vet.
She is. She's playing with nothing to lose, and that's what I like to see from a young rookie. You go out and you play your guts out, and you're trying to earn your spot. She's not deferring.
And from talking to Walt Hopkins last year and this year, you're not going to get on the floor unless you earn it. And Onyenwere is earning her day on the floor.
She's a top rookie in scoring. I mean, she has at times been leading all rookies in that department. So you're absolutely right.
There's a look at the rookie out of UCLA. Great game against the Sky yesterday. And so far tonight, she has 5 points, 2 of 2 from the field, and she's connected on her 1 3-pointer. As the Liberty have matched their largest lead of the game, it's 3.
Good job.
And that could be erased quickly with the ball in Mabry's hand, but she gave it up there to Harrison, who misses, but will stay here. As Onyenwere is called for the foul there. Her first, the team's second here in the third quarter. .12 to shoot as Harris misses her jumper, but we're going to get a foul on the weak side on Sammy Whitcomb.
Yeah, they're calling a lot of fouls off the ball. Just Sammy's first foul.
Liberty shooting 45.5%. The Wings 43.6%. As the shot clock was reset to 14. Harris picks up her dribble. Elbow with the free-point line. Now Harrison working on Howard. Thinks better of it. Kicks back to Harris for a 3. No good. Battle inside. No foul called this time, and it'll be Liberty ball.
Well, you like to see the physical play, though. I mean, New York trying to make contact with someone. You don't just allow the walk-in rebounds.
Ionescu, nice look inside, but Laney cannot hold on. That was a great find.
That would have been pretty, yeah,
yes.
Great find. Needed to be a little bit of a lower pass from that wing, but that was a great idea.
Great job by you, partner. It was a bit of a bad pass for Laney to try to handle. As now Collier working on Onyenwere. That's Texas against UCLA down on the low block. As Izzy Harrison curls in, misses, and another gang rebounding situation by the Liberty, and Ionescu comes out with it.
Well, that's the kind of one-on-one defense, though, Natasha Howard brings. You just saw a snapshot of it.
Sabrina Ionescu will be heading to the free throw line. That's only her second shot attempt of the game.
Teams are really making it difficult for Sabrina Ionescu to get easy looks off. We saw it on Friday, especially against the Mystics, and they really did not let her get a lot of easy looks. And she'll see that every single game. What makes her special is she finds other ways to impact the game, and she will continue to reinvent her offense.
It's Seafoam season. Rep the New York Liberty with all new gear for the 2021 season, from jerseys to hoodies, hats, and more. The New York Liberty team store has you covered. Visit nyliberty.com to shop.
Lots of nice new gear this year.
Oh, my goodness. I cannot wait.
New jerseys across the board.
To get my hands on some of that stuff. They did such a good job on the new unis. We're going to step aside, take a break here with 6:15 left in the third quarter. Check that. We're going to stay here. Liberty with a 46-41 lead. The timeout is a 20-second timeout, which is why we're staying and not leaving. Marina Mabry stuck on 16 points. She has not scored a field goal in the first 3 minutes and 45 seconds. And fans, Saturday afternoon, don't miss the next Liberty game as Benija Laney leads the Seafoam Green against her former team, the Atlanta Dream. Another revenge game for her. Stream it live Saturday at 2 p.m. on the YES app, and tape delayed later after the Yankees coverage on YES. So we'll be back here on Saturday, partner. Can't wait for that one.
That's right. A little Memorial Day action. Memorial Day weekend action.
There you go. Nice catch. Collier and Onyenwere. Good defense there, but she's called for the foul. She can't believe it. I love the facial expressions. Priceless.
There's a little matchup problem. And Charlie Collier is 6'5", and she has that length, that ability to do a lot of things. I just think that she's got that perfect physique for the WNBA. Was not the most hyped up #1 pick, but such a great player.
She misses the first. She went to Barbers Hill High School in the greater Houston area, had 3,500 points and 1,400 rebounds in high school.
Incredible. And remember, she's a big post. And Walt Hopkins talks about post players a lot and how they need time to develop. So give her some time to develop. She could be one of those stars in the making.
She's a great story, too. Didn't get a lot of time her freshman year at Texas. Had to go within herself. Only scored 5.9 points per game there, but Laney connects on the three. And the lead is 8 for New York. But
Laney makes it look easy.
Yeah. Her game is just unbelievable how it's grown in the past couple of years. Agumbawale answers. No. Liberty can keep building this lead. We're going to stay here. A foul on Agumbawale. I was talking about Collier, though. Collier scored those 5.9 points in her freshman year at Texas, and then she grew her sophomore year, grew more her junior year. So she was intrinsically motivated.
And that's rare. You don't see that happen for women a lot at all. She's growing into her body still.
She's another great story. Near steal there. 11 to shoot here for the Liberty as Ionescu waits for the high screen from Howard. Working Agumbawale, puts it up, no good. Did not connect with the rim there as the shot clock did not reset. Agumbawale doesn't get it to fall, but she will head to the free throw line. A little mad at herself that she didn't get that one to go.
Nobody moves the basketball faster down the floor than Arike Agumbawale, and it's her ability to do it while she has the ball in her hands that makes her so special. Just quick with that ball.
She misses the first. Thursday night on YES, catching all new episode of Joy to the World as hosty and Joy sits down with the CEO of the Liberty, Kia Clark. We saw a taste of that at halftime to discuss the excitement surrounding the team and how the WNBA is taking an active role in social justice. That's Thursday night at 11 after Yankees coverage right here on YES and streaming on the YES app.
Kia Clark, shout out to her. She's done a tremendous job with this organization, the CEO of the New York Liberty. She's been around a while. And boy, has she turned things around and gotten the right players here, and she's led the way in a beautiful way. And she's a former MAC player. I got to give her a shout out. I do every year where I played in college.
We're going to step aside. The Liberty with a 7-point lead over the Wings. We're back with more third quarter action next. Liberty have a 7-point lead here with 4:43 left to go in the third quarter. How about the #1 overall pick in 2021? The Liberty did win the lottery. They were awarded that #1 overall pick back on December 4th. February 10th, the pick was traded to Seattle for Natasha Howard and Sammy Whitcomb. And the pick was traded again to the Dallas Wings for Katie Lou Samuelson. And then finally, the Dallas Wings took Charlie Collier with that first overall pick. They had the top 2 selections in the draft. Awakawia as well from Finland. She went second. There is Collier.
And the question for Dallas, I mean, and they've got a ton of potential, but clearly a lack of experience. But this could be a playoff year for them or a development year. And what will it be? I mean, we'll see how things develop and when they get Sabally back. And, you know, obviously they're going to get some other players. Awakawia we keep talking about, and Alicia Gray.
And Vicki Johnson in her second go-around as a head coach in the W. She was the head coach of the San Antonio Stars. And now...
And went to Vegas under Bill Laimbeer.
Yeah, was an assistant there. But let's not forget her time with the New York Liberty, and she is the second all-time leading scorer in New York Liberty history. She was inducted into the Ring of Honor back in July of 2011. And now she's leading this Wings team from the bench. When you get your own sandwich named after you at the Carnegie Deli, you know you're doing something right.
That's right. How many calories are in that?
3,000 calories.
Incredible.
Natasha Howard with the baby hook in the lane, and the Liberty have their largest lead. It's 9.
Here we go, Jazz.
It was called the VJ Classic.
3,000 calories coming right at you.
Oh, my goodness.
Heart attack on a plate.
The amount of cheese would scare the heck out of you. Jazz Jones wrestles away the rebound, but it goes right to Marina Mabry. Shot clock reset for the Wings, and a foul. We're going to get a foul here on the Liberty. Side out.
But Nigel Laney certainly wants to get her own sandwich named after her someday. The bench excited to see her scoring, and Natasha Howard, of course, the back down, the beautiful post play. That is what the Liberty need out of her. And you know, I have to point this out too. The fact that the New York Liberty have been able to hold Arike Ogunbowale to 1 of 8 shooting, Chris. An inefficient night so far. One of the best scorers in the league. That really is a very good sign.
Leading scorer in the W last year. Great hands there by Rebecca Allen. 3 to shoot here for the Wings, but that you bring up a great point. The fact that Arike Ogunbowale is 1 for 8 and just has 7 points, 5 of those coming at the line. That's a testament to Walt Hopkins' defense here with this New York Liberty team.
And he mentioned that in the pregame that she can sometimes be a little inefficient. She takes some tough shots sometimes. Like that. That's a tough shot.
But hustling to the rebound, Kayla Thornton, and they did have Ogunbowale open underneath. Couldn't get it to her as Ty Harris tries to get it inside to Izzy Harrison. She does. The bank does not go. The bank not opened. Laney now trying to add to this lead. An errant pass there, but picked up by Richards. Now Howard. Nice look, but the rebound goes to Thornton.
That time Howard drew two defenders.
Thornton working on Beck Allen, and she kind of puts an elbow into Natasha Howard, and she's feeling that. I think she took an elbow right to the midsection.
Yeah, that did not look good. She looked like she might have gotten the wind knocked out of her there on the turn. That was Thornton, I believe. Yep, Thornton here.
Yeah, that
turns hard into her.
That right elbow.
It seemed very inadvertent, but certainly looks painful.
Foul was called on Rebecca Allen as Howard hits the line. That's the 3rd foul on Rebecca Allen.
You look at Kayla Thornton. She is the most veteran player on this Dallas Wings roster. Just 5 years of WNBA experience. But she's known for her hustle. That is her identity. 100 miles an hour.
Kylie Shook will give Natasha Howard a rest. Well-deserved rest for Howard as she takes a seat after taking that elbow to the midsection. As Thornton hits both. Just to bring the Carnegie Deli back around, Diana Taurasi is 6 points away from 9,000. I want to see a 9,000 calorie sandwich out of Carnegie and
I wonder if that's possible.
Name it after DT. That's my dream.
And I'd like to see her eat that. She's on a special diet. She probably would not.
Jazz Jones connects there, and the Liberty back up by 9 once again. Harrison, nice move past Kylie Shook, and she lays it up and in.
And the Liberty have been able to maintain and grow this lead with Sabrina on the bench, Chris.
And guess what?
That's a pretty good sign.
1 turnover so far here in this third quarter, 8 minutes in, and that's why we talked about that at halftime. The lead was as many as 9, but just 1 turnover, Jules.
Yeah, that's key, and they've done a much better job cleaning up in that department. Too many opportunities that led to buckets for Dallas, and a team like Dallas that likes to run the basketball, that is like perfect for them. If you're turning it over, they can run and run and run. And they were able to do that more in the first half.
And let's be honest, too. We know the shooter that Rebecca Allen is. She's 0 for 4 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3. But when she gets cooking, we've seen it before. I know you've seen it before we've started doing these games on Yes. When she starts going, Jules, this team could be absolutely phenomenal.
Right, because she can put them up in a hurry and in bunches. And her statistics in that department, you just saw it on the screen, in the 40s, 43-ish% in the league. I mean, personally, that's big.
Game-changing. And that is game-changing as well as Dee Richards. Oh, great look over to Allen, and she lays it up and in. Richards with the defense, turning into offense. And the Liberty have their largest lead. It's up to 11.
Dee Richards really playing within her game and within herself, what she's very good at. She is that spark plug right now off the bench.
Liberty flipping the script on points off turnovers. They have 17 points off of 10 Wings turnovers.
Dee with the hands here, pushing it up in transition. A great little look to Rebecca Allen, and that is exactly what they need out of Richards. If she can continue to add that, she is going to get minutes.
Mabry thought she was fouled on that play. You could see her complaining to the official all the way back on defense, especially on that replay, as Agumbawale cannot buy a bucket right now, and Shook had it and lost it, so it'll stay with Dallas, 14 to shoot.
Agumbawale, a high-volume shooter. And you're right, she's struggling to find the hole right now.
And you were a shooter, Jules. Sometimes that happens.
It certainly does, and, you know, she doesn't have a ton of help right now. Mabry was certainly helping her more in the first, but she's been held in check here in the second.
Misses another one there. Collier can't get the follow, but do not sleep on AO, because she could go off at any moment. And we've got another quarter to play here.
Got lots of time.
Jazz Jones thought about the 3, little stop there, and then loses it right to Dee Richards. She gets it inside to Beck Allen, who lays it up and in. Richards and Allen once again connecting.
Nice teamwork between the two of them. A 12-4 run.
That time a miss by Dana Evans, the rookie out of Louisville. She played with Jazz Jones and Kylie Shook with the Cardinals.
But this is huge for Walt Hopkins to be able to put in a new lineup and to be able to extend the lead. That is called depth right there. That's what every coach dreams of having in the league.
Beck Allen cannot get one to fall either. She's now 0 for 5. Or check that, she is 2 for 7. She made those 2 layups. Nice defense there by Rebecca Allen, but the foul before the shot on Jazz Jones. Allen 0 for 3 from downtown. Agumbawale now 1 for 11 from the field, 0 for 4 from downtown. She's done most of her damage, if not all of her damage, from the free throw line where she is right now.
Well, it's the best way to get yourself going if you can't make shots. To try to manufacture them at the line. And she's 6 of 7 from there now.
How about this, Jules? Dallas is averaging 95.5 points through their first 2 games. And here in the third quarter with 6 seconds left, they have 50.
It shows a lot for New York's effort defensively.
Whitcomb doesn't get it to go at the buzzer, but the Liberty take an 11-point advantage into the fourth quarter, looking for their perfect home streak to continue with their 3rd win here at Barclays.
Howard in just her 2nd game with the New York Liberty, but the first time we're seeing her on Yes Network has shown out tonight, and they are finding her wherever it is on the floor. This is a championship caliber player and the interior type of player that this team needed, and she's stepping out and knocking down shots from the perimeter, but she is a pure back to the basket, very physical player. And we've talked about her defensive prowess too. That is something that you see in this game. I mean, you look at the score, and you just mentioned it, Chris. Dallas just has 50 points, a team that's averaged in the 90s. Well, a big reason, I think, Howard. You gotta definitely put a bow around that.
They beat the Sparks 94-71. They lost to the Storm 100-97.
And I think the comfort level that she has so quick is impressive. And you know, it's important to remember that she is very close with Walt Hopkins. She won a championship in Minnesota in 2017 alongside Walt, who was assistant coaching there.
Nice hands by Allen as she leads the break, gives it up to Jazz Jones, lays it up, no good, gets her own board, kicks it back out to Allen. They reset. Kylie Shook for 3, no good, around the rim and out. Good look, though, after the offensive rebound is Bella Allery into the game. And she gives it back to Ty Harris. They were taken 5th and 7th overall in the 2020 WNBA draft.
Bella Allery, the Princeton player that finally getting some minutes here. Vicki Johnson trying to shake some things up.
Just the 3rd Ivy League player ever drafted in the WNBA draft as Jazz Jones lays that one up and in. And the lead back up to 11. Allery denied in the paint. And Dee Richards comes away with the loose ball. Sammy Whitcomb in the corner. Sammy has done it again. And the lead up to 14.
Sammy comes up with some shots in just pivotal moments just to extend that lead and put the dagger in.
Vicki Johnson wants to talk it over. Not 2 minutes into the fourth quarter, and the Liberty have a 14-point lead.
How about a little defensive prowess from Rebecca Allen, the spider? And then in transition, Sammy Whitcomb says, oh, that's easy. Knocks it down.
Fourth quarter, Liberty with their largest lead of 14 with 8:08 left to play. And Sammy Whitcomb, along with Natasha Howard from the Seattle Storm, has been a difference maker.
Not only does she knock down shots when she's open, she's highly efficient from distance, but she's constantly talking. You see the way that she communicates. She is a leader that this team really needed, a veteran voice. And I really just love her competitive nature.
7 rookies, let's not forget last year, down in the bubble, as Ogunbowale gets that one to fall. Just her 2nd field goal of the game. But you said it, partner. The Liberty needed this veteran leadership as Howard. Oh, Natasha Howard, that's just not fair. She hits another 3, her 2nd of the game.
Speaking of another veteran, and adding a couple does wonders.
Ogunbowale tries to answer, no good, too strong. Rebound goes to Thornton.
And Coach Hopkins has stayed with this lineup here a bit.
Ogunbowale gets inside of Laney. She gets that one to fall as well. So 2 straight field goals there for Ogunbowale after having just 1 through the first 3 quarters. She has 2 in the first 3 minutes here of the fourth.
And that's where she can really get hot in a hurry. I mean, it's 7 minutes to go. And we see Howard on the floor. That does not look good.
No, it doesn't. Maybe she knocked knees there with Ty Harris on that screen. Have to look at the replay as she is wincing in pain here.
And she's holding her knee.
That is not something this Liberty team wants to see. As this arena is silent, and Walt Hopkins, you can see the concern on his face as Howard is getting tended to.
I didn't see her collide, or I just saw her come down. Yeah, this place is quiet.
Gets up on her own, but she could barely put any pressure on that left leg.
She's making this screen here. That's where you can get really a Charlie horse. Whether it was a Charlie horse or it
knee
was
on knee, maybe.
Yeah, a bone bruise, something.
Has that ever happened to you when you played?
All the time. All the time. I'm usually the one trying to squeeze through the screen, and that's where you get horrible Charlie horses in your quad, but that was a knee. Remember, I was shorter.
Right,
that hit her knee.
Hopefully all it is a Charlie horse on Natasha Howard. She is out of the game now. Active hands once again by Beck Allen, but it goes right to Thornton, and she lays it up and in.
I mean, those can be painful where you need to come out for a few minutes.
Well, she went back to the locker room. Hopefully we can get an update before this one comes to a conclusion here at Barclays Center. Nice find from Jazz Jones to Allen, but she cannot get a shot to fall from the outside. She's hit two bunnies. And Agumbawale hard to the goal, and she gets fouled hard there by Kylie Shook, and she's still down. And she just said something about her back. I'm not a lip reader as a profession, but it did look like she said it's her back.
Yeah, she fell hard here, and she goes hard to the basket. And she just falls hard.
Oh, she hit the stanchion.
Yeah, to the stanchion. At least it's padded.
She looks like she's going to be okay to continue. She makes her way to the free throw line here. She'll get 2 shots.
I mean, this game is far from over, and you know that Arike Agumbawale is a cutthroat type of competitor. She will come at you and give you all she's got.
You do not want her to get cooking as she hits the free throw here and cuts the lead to 10. 2019 5th overall pick. As we mentioned earlier in the game, the second Rookie of the Year voting to Nafisa Collier of the Lynx. And how about the 2 game-winning shots in the semi and the final in 2018 for Notre Dame?
Lots of waves. She sent shock waves through the country. Really exciting. But those are the kinds of shots she loves.
Can you imagine doing it once, and she did it twice?
It's unreal.
Jazz Jones no good on that attempt. Sabrina Ionescu at the scorer's table waiting to check back in as Izzy Harrison tries her luck in the lane, and she is fouled. And this is playing very nicely into the Wings game right now, stopping the clock and getting to the free throw line.
Yeah, it's important New York doesn't roll over here and then play not to lose. A lot of time left, and then you see Natasha Howard go down with some sort of an injury, and it can affect your psyche as a team. So New York's got to stay focused, because all of a sudden you look up. This is a 7-point game. She makes these 2.
Howard still not in the bench area. Looks to still be in the locker room as Izzy Harrison knocks down her first free throw. Sabrina Ionescu comes back in for Jazz Jones. So Sab will get run here in the last 6 minutes of this game. Her team up by 8. And we should mention that Sabrina Ionescu's only taken 3 shots too. So just as Arike Agumbawale could get going, we know just from our games here at Barclays Center, so could Ionescu. Nice spinorama there by Harrison.
That ended up being a 3-point play. That was actually better than if she had made both foul shots right there. 9-0 run for Dallas. And New York needs a bucket badly.
You could tell Rebecca Allen is not feeling it. She had an open look there at 3, didn't take it. Ionescu did, got her own rebound. 10 to shoot. Laney backs in, tries to turn around baseline jumper and gets the friendly rim there and knocks it down. Laney, 6th straight game with 20 points.
She makes some tough shots, Chris. That's a tough fader.
You were calling her buckets.
V-Bucks.
V-Bucks.
She just got her 4th foul here.
And we were talking about that before the game, and that reminded me of Fortnite's V-Bucks. And speaking of Fortnite, I have a bone to pick with them because they have NBA skins in the game now. You could be NBA teams as a character. But my daughters were both looking for WNBA teams as Agumbawale hits that 3. They couldn't find them, so Fortnite, come on.
Behind the 8 ball here.
You need to get some WNBA. Yes, you need to get some W skins into Fortnite for sure. We're going to step aside. The Liberty led by as many as 14. That is down to now 5 with 5:03 left in the game. Liberty with a 5-point lead with 5:03 left to go in the 4th. They did lead this by as many as 14, but that's when Natasha Howard knocked knees with Ty Harris. We don't have an update yet on her condition, but we will try to get that to you as soon as we can. Howard back on the bench, though. That's a good sign, and getting iced down on that knee. Hopefully, Jules, it's what you said, just a Charlie horse.
Of some sort, or just a bruise. That would be ideal, but we won't speculate. Not sure, but when we have an update, if we get one, we'll let you know.
And Benijah Laney needed that one, and so did the Liberty. That extends back to a 7-point lead. Thornton inside, and with Natasha Howard on the bench.
They're going at them inside.
Kia Stokes has checked into the game for the first time as well.
That's a very good point, and why Howard is hard to take off the floor. It's her defense in the interior that really helps the Liberty.
Allen just inside the 3-point line. Can't get that one to go either.
She's just been stone cold from distance.
Thornton once again working on Stokes. Nice inside look, and Marina Mabry gets it to go, and she's fouled. She could cut this to a 2-point game.
Marina Mabry, another gamer on this Dallas Wings team. You cannot blink your eye for a second. She is so good at cutting without the basketball, cutting into space. She doesn't just linger. She knows where to go. Very smart player.
Leading the Wings with 19 points. Arike Agumbawale, as we mentioned, in the 3rd quarter. She could go off at any minute. She had 4 points in the 1st half, 14 in this half, 9 in the 4th quarter. Ionescu for 3. Oh, she hits it! Ionescu with ice in her veins. New York needed that one from the corner.
And it doesn't matter how quiet she is throughout a game. She's never afraid to take the shot when she has the open look with confidence.
Liberty back up by 5. Mabry, does she have an answer? Driving on Whitcomb, up and under, and lays it in.
She contorts her body in ways that are just, it's so surprising how she gets to the rim so easily. She's not a big player, but she is so good at getting there.
The Fighting Irish have combined for 39 points of the 73 that the Wings have. We're going to get a foul call here on Dallas.
Dallas foul charge number 20 is
Izzy Harrison.
That's her 4th.
The guilty party, her 4th. Team's 1st here in the 4th quarter. 3:01 left to play. It'll be a side out for New York. 14 to shoot here for the Liberty. 14-point lead, down to 3 as Ionescu hits the jumper, and she's fouled. Sabrina Ionescu rising to the occasion here, Jules.
That was an excellent job off of the on-ball screen, just the way that she read it. You always see her, she's assessing the situation. See, she comes off hard again, shoulder to shoulder, and then the trailer, 52, and Harris, that's Harris. She's trailing her here, and this was a good decision, but she knew, hey, I've got the open look. Even though she was leaning forward a little, she got the finish.
Bench mob, loving every minute of it. She was 1 for 3 through the first 3 quarters. She has 2 field goals here in the 4th quarter, and that foul shot gives Ionescu 11 points. She has 9 boards, 3 assists. So once again, Ionescu filling it up.
She doesn't force things that are not there, and that's what makes her really a great player.
Arike Gumbawale tried to answer, was halfway down and came back out. So now Sabrina Ionescu and company could look to add to this 6-point lead. And a foul on Mabry out front, as Ionescu and Mabry exchange pleasantries after that foul.
That's her second. Team's third.
Still some fouls to give, so she's not going to the line there, so not a big deal.
.230 to play here in the 4th quarter. Liberty with a 6-point lead. So glad you could join us here on the YES Network. Spending your Monday night with us as the Liberty take on the Dallas Wings. Dallas 1-1 on the season. The Liberty looking to get out to their best start since 2007 when they were 5-0. A win tonight would make them 5-1, and back-to-back victories yesterday in Chicago against the Sky. And they could beat another tough team here tonight in the Dallas Wings. And another foul out front on Mabry.
3 in a row here, getting chippy, real chippy. Both ends of the floor. Especially this possession, this is like the longest possession ever, and there's been about 3 fouls.
I could attest, that's the jersey coming out of Mabry.
Oh, she's tough. She's
Meaning
definitely tough.
New Jersey.
New Jersey. I knew what you meant.
As Ionescu hits her first.
She's always been that kind of player, though, just very, competitive. That's the only way to explain it, and I like it.
That's how you get to this level. That's how you're part of the 144. You're not going to be in this league if you're not competitive and you don't play and leave everything on the floor like Mabry is here tonight. She goes inside. Great move with the left. Doesn't get it to go, and then the ball will go off Thornton. It'll be Liberty ball, so that's a big possession.
A huge stop.
Huge stop.
Dallas was on a run.
Lead was 14, then it was down to 2, and now it's back up to 8. As Benijah Laney, being the vet that she is, pulls back out, 10 to shoot here for New York. Takes the 3. If they're going to give it to her, no good. Rebound to Thornton, and she gives it up to Agumbawale. Pretty move to get inside, but she can't get the shot to fall. Jazz Jones slows it down, and we have a whistle in the backcourt.
Laney looks like she got hit in the face, and she's kind of sucking that lip. I think she got hit in the lip there. Yeah, right in the mouth. And that was a missed call. I don't think the refs called anything there.
That was like an old WWE move by Agumbawale. Just a little forearm shiver across the face. It'll be Liberty ball.
I think they're looking it over, Chris.
Let's see if this is a flagrant. As Tim Green, Robert Hussey, and Carlina Tobin, our officiating crew tonight, will take a look at this on the replay monitor, and we'll get a look at it again as well. Is that inadvertent, partner, or do you think that was intent?
I think it was inadvertent, but just a quick glance there. And let's look at it from this angle. Yeah, I didn't think she necessarily went after her. She was going for the rebound, but it was to the head. Oof. I think it was inadvertent. I think it was a basketball play. She's going after the rebound. I don't know how you could say anything else, but
it looked like she was just trying to possibly body up Laney. Didn't know how far away she was from her and tried to use her arm to feel it out, and that's what happened. That was the result.
It seemed like a basketball play to me, but well, we'll see what they come up with here.
Again, take another look.
Because she's going after the ball there.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you think because it's a headshot, though, regardless if it's inadvertent, do you think that's a flagrant?
Sometimes they do call things when they're to the head or to the face in any way.
The officials still conversing here, taking a look at these replays. Again, Tim Green, Robert Hussey, Carlina Tobin. As we get a look at both squads here, New York with an 8-point lead, 1:23 left. It'll be New York Liberty ball when we get back to action with 22 to shoot. And Laney is talking to her teammates about what happened, showing Jazz Jones the area of impact.
All right, well, some of the reviews do take quite a while. I mean,
we saw a couple in that Sky game yesterday that might have been a little too long.
Yeah.
But this one, I could understand why they're taking some time here. They have to get together, put their heads together, and see if this was a flagrant. Whereas yesterday, it was just a couple of out-of-bounds plays that you and I were texting each other about and then eventually called each other on. Kind of obvious plays to us yesterday in that Sky game.
Yeah, I mean, you love the technology for sure, under 2 minutes to review it, but sometimes they do take forever to review it. And it looks like they've got their decision made.
It gives us more time to hang out, partner.
Who doesn't like that?
I love it. I wouldn't rather be any other place. Tim Green is going to take another look here, Jules, as the conference ends, but the replays will once again commence. Now,
I mean, her momentum's coming down, her hands are flailing. I just don't see how you can reverse that call.
Yes, Danny.
But Laney is at the line, it looks like.
Following video review, a loose ball foul has been charged to Dallas number 24, Enrique.
So a common foul.
It's a common foul
On Ogunbowale, which
and it's
is
they're
the
in
right
the bonus
call.
right now.
It's the right call.
Right, as long as it wasn't a flagrant of sorts, that would have been too much there.
Laney hits her first. Tomorrow night, the Brooklyn Nets take on the Boston Celtics in Game 2 of their first-round playoff series right here at Barclays Center. Catch all the action on Pix 11 and streaming live on the SF. Then stick around for the Nets post-game after the final buzzer, only on Yes and the Yes app. Mabry, a deep one. Front of the rim, no good. And with just over a minute left, the Liberty on a 10-2 run over the last 2.5 minutes and counting. And we're just about at the 1 minute mark here of the fourth quarter, as Ionescu now fouled by Ty Harris, and now Sabrina will head to the line to shoot two. That's her fifth foul. Ionescu 3 of 6 from the floor, 2 of 4 from deep. Perfect, 5 for 5 from the line, 13 points, 9 boards. And now another whistle. And Enrique Ogunbowale was just hit up with a T, so now Sabrina Ionescu will take the technical and then another 2 shots. So cooler heads not prevailing on the Dallas side.
Some frustration for sure from Dallas, and they've played their hardest. They really have. They came all the way back this quarter. But the importance of New York bouncing back and really answering those blows down the stretch here have been important.
We can't say enough about how impressive this win will be if the Liberty hold on to this 11-point advantage with just over a minute left. The back-to-back, how they came back and had to battle against the Sky yesterday, and it's a 12-point lead now. But just an impressive job on both ends of the floor here against a very potent Dallas Wings team that we mentioned, Jules, time and time again during this broadcast, averaging 95.5 points a game coming in.
And it shows a lot of maturity in this team to be able to, like we keep saying, answer punches to the face. When Dallas went on that run this fourth quarter, they answered the call. They came back. They got some stops, and as soon as one of their better players went down, they did not roll over.
And you talked about sticking to their identity at the start of the second half, and we've seen that throughout the third and fourth quarter, and that's why the Liberty have been able to build this lead. And they've kept the turnovers down. The first half, 13 turnovers, just 1 turnover here in the second half, Jules.
And that's key.
And that's credit to you. You said if they just clean that up, they could extend leads, and they have done that. Tuesday night on Yes, following his epic no-hitter last week, Corey Kluber takes the mound in the Bronx as the Yankees battle Vlad Guerrero Jr. and Toronto Blue Jays. Coverage starts at 6:30 right here on Yes and streaming on the Yes app. The Yankees are just unbelievable right now. They got that no-hitter out of Kluber. They turn a triple play and then walk off in the same game against the White Sox, and then a walk-off walk from Aaron Judge yesterday. His first walk-off, can't say hit, it was a walk, but his first walk-off plate appearance for Aaron Judge. The Yankees are on fire.
That's good to see. New York in every single sport right now. Oh,
playoff basketball all over.
The Celtics, and they won, obviously, and then another one tomorrow night here at Barclays. But we've got the Liberty playing well.
Slow start for the big three for the Nets, but they scored 49 of the 57 points in the second half for the Nets. Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, James Harden. Unbelievable performance as Jazz Jones called there for the push-off. And there were 13,000 people in this arena, and my goodness, did it sound electric.
And I have no doubt that felt really good, too, for the guys to have all those people back and fueling you and fueling that energy as a player.
It actually, James Harden said it threw him off because there were so many people.
It takes some time to adjust. Oh, and that's another foul here the refs are looking at.
See, this is another one that looks like a common basketball move. Jazz Jones just kind of spinning.
And a slight sell, possibly.
Slight,
I would say.
And the Academy Award goes to, as you see, Jazz Jones's reaction there. She couldn't believe it.
No, they called a common foul on the floor.
Tim Green, makes the call. It's a common foul, as we both thought. And it'll be a side out for Dallas, down by 10. Just under 48 seconds to play here in the fourth quarter. Liberty looking to start the season 5-1. Dallas needs some buckets, and they need them in a hurry. Gumbawale in rhythm, hits the three there, cuts the lead to 7.
And no matter what, this Dallas Wings team, they never go away, and they keep games close because of their dynamic ability to get on fire, to put points on the board. I mean, we were talking about Gumbawale and how limited she was. She has 21 points, but she really had to work for those points. Not efficient, only 5 of 18. She did get to the free throw line tonight, which was certainly big for her.
Tip your cap to both defenses, because Sabrina Ionescu just 3 for 6. She's only attempted 6 shots, and we've seen the tenacious defense that the Wings have played on her, and we saw that against the Mystics as well, Jules. As Laney hits, and lead is back up to 9. Gumbawale off balance there, and now she will foul Jazz Jones. So 24 seconds left as Jones will head to the free throw line. I know I keep talking about this sandwich at the Carnegie Deli, but I want to see if you would order it.
If I would order it?
Yeah, because
maybe not.
Because Vicky Johnson actually they actually gave it to her to eat. I don't think she finished it, but it was turkey, Munster, American Swiss, tomato, honey mustard, and mayo, and it weighed 2 pounds.
Wow, 2 pounds?
Yeah.
That would pack 2 pounds on me like that.
Jones misses the first. Fans, Saturday afternoon, don't miss the next Liberty game as Benijah Laney leads the Seafoam Green against her former team, the Atlanta Dream. Stream it live Saturday at 2 on the Yes app and tape delayed later following the Yankees coverage on Yes. Jones good on 1 of 2 and the lead back up to 10. Another nice defensive set there. Shot clock and game clock are identical as Didi Richards getting set to check back in for Sabrina Ionescu, and she'll hear it from the crowd.
And they want to make sure she stays healthy and they don't overdo it with her. I mean, this is, like we keep saying, a back-to-back game. They played a hard-fought one yesterday as Agubawale drills another one.
She's up to 24 points now as Benijah Laney and the Liberty will just dribble this one out. They're going to win it 88 to 81. A 7-point victory. Another all-around victory for this Liberty team. 3 players, Jules, in double digits. But every Liberty player except Kia Stokes that played scored a bucket.
And how about the fact that they shot 46% from the floor, 40% from 3, 81% from the free throw line. This is an efficient offensive team and performance here, and another nice win for New York. They got a lot of attributes from everyone.
As you just saw on the screen, a 5-1 start. We mentioned it during the broadcast. That is their best start since 2007 when they were 5-0 that year. Liberty win this one 88-81. Benijah Laney, of course, her 6th game with 20 or more points. She scored 26 points tonight from Laney.
And she's been incredible.
The vet from Rutgers. And we are working on getting her for a post-game interview here. You see her getting ready, getting the headband ready.
That's right.
And Alicia is getting the headset to Benijah. Robin Roberts getting a picture taken with Ellie. Nice to see Robin Roberts taken in the game. Holly Rowe here as well. Benijah, can you hear us?
I can.
Nice. Benijah, 5-1. This franchise hasn't started like this since 2007. What does this start mean to you and this team?
Man, it means a lot, especially, you know, all the questions about, you know, how we would look this year coming out. And I think we're proving a lot of people wrong, and we're proving a lot of people right. So I'm just happy. I'm proud of my team, you know, to have this start, especially, you know, the intensity of all these games and the matter of time that they were. So I'm happy for the win.
Benijah, what does it show you, too, in terms of the maturity of this group to be able to answer to Dallas's big fourth-quarter run and to pull this win out?
That we're really mature. You know, I'm really proud of us to, you know, to be able to sustain the run that they had and just stay grounded and stay composed through it all. So I think it shows that we have a lot of girth, and, you know, we're doing really good things.
Coach Hopkins calls you one of the hungriest players he's ever coached, Benijah. What is your mindset going into every game? Because he says about you, she's just been Benijah. It's not about you being hot, it's just you being Benijah. So what's that mindset day in and day out for you?
I'm very hungry, you know, and it started from last year, just going through what I went through. And then to, you know, be a part of this team who had, you know, 2 wins last year and people thinking that, you know, we weren't capable. So, you know, that drives me, that drives my teammates, and we're just happy to be here.
The Benijah Laney Revenge Tour continues on Saturday. You did it against Indiana. What does it mean to go up against your other former team, the Atlanta Dream, coming up on Saturday?
I mean, it's no bad blood or anything, but you know, I'm coming out. My teammates were pumped for anybody, you know, that we're going up against. So.
Benijah, thank you so much for the time. Congrats on the win. The Liberty, 5-1, their best start since 2007 when they started 5-0. The win tonight over the Dallas Wings, 88-81. Laney leading the way with 26 points, and the most games with 20 or more points to begin a season. Laney has tied Cappy Pondexter of the 2008 Phoenix Mercury. They each have 6. Can she keep it rolling and tie Elena Deladon on Saturday against the Atlanta Dream? We will have to wait and find out. You could join us on the Yes app at 2 o'clock, a matinee with the Liberty and the Dream. And then you could catch the replay tape delayed on Yes after the Yankees coverage. That wraps it up from Barclays Center. Once again, the final score, 88-81. Join us again Saturday, as we mentioned, when the Liberty hosts the Dream. Coverage begins at 2, streaming live on the Yes app. You could also watch on tape delay after the Yankees coverage on Yes. For Julianne Biani Brain and our entire Yes Network crew, I'm Chris Sheeran saying so long, everyone. We'll see you next time.